Excuse me while I drink my decaf extra hot oat milk cappuccino. God, I sound like a twat. Now, one of the things that I like to talk about, as you know, is mental health, specifically anxiety, because I don't think it's spoken about enough. I think it's definitely being spoken about more recently in the past few years, but we definitely still have a long way to go. I was just reading something. According to the World Health Organization, 800,000 people commit suicide every year, and 79% of these are male. Those statistics are insane and genuinely, like, from the bottom of my heart, make me feel very, like, really sad. When you have been there yourself and felt so close to wanting to just not be here anymore, not feel how you do anymore, that information, like, really hits me on a very deep level. So talking about how I feel and removing the stigma of mental health so people start taking it just as seriously as a physical illness is really, really important to me. I get a fair amount of people that message me on Instagram about mental health. I will leave my Instagram below if you want to check it out. I talk quite a lot about mental health and maybe it's helpful to some of you, hopefully. But people often ask me how I feel nowadays and have things improved and all that stuff. And unlike some people, I will not sugarcoat anything. I am here to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. So how am I feeling? First of all, I want to say to anyone that suffers from mental health issues that are watching this, if I had one key bit of advice for you all, and this is something that I'm still learning and practicing, it's patience. You have to have patience. Recovery from mental health takes so much patience. I cannot emphasize that enough or say that word enough. In my experience from the people that I've met and in my humble opinion, a lot of people that suffer specifically from anxiety, because that's kind of more what I know than depression, we all seem to have very similar personality traits. We're very creative, we have a lot of ideas all the time about things in our minds. We are born perfectionists and we probably have some OCD about various things lurking around. I do know I turned that light off in the lounge, but I'm just gonna go and check it for the 5th time, you know? And another one of our lovely traits is impatience. I am incredibly impatient, just so impatient, and having patience is something that I'm definitely still learning with mental health, because we all want quick fixes, but with mental health that's just impossible. So yeah, I'm still learning about patience, to be honest. I had a breakdown about 3 years ago, and the first year and a half was mainly a blur to me. I mean, I don't even really remember that. I mean, I remember it, but like, it was just, it was such a blur. I went from antidepressant to another antidepressant, to a benzodiazepine, to another benzodiazepine, to an antipsychotic, back to an antidepressant, back to another antidepressant. I wasn't sleeping, I was barely eating, I was crying basically all day, every day. All in all, it was a living nightmare, like an actual nightmare. Anyway, I don't want to go into all of that because that was that, and I've made a video on that before, I've made a few videos on that before, but I'm here to give you an update. Decaf coffee break. Also, decaf. If you have anxiety, quit drinking caffeine. I just want to say, I stopped taking medication. I couldn't find one that helped me. I'm not against medication at all. In fact, I wish something had helped me, but it didn't. So yeah, my recovery has been without medication. Just want to say that. So overall, I am much better. When I think back to how I was, the improvement is huge, to the point where if I let myself, I could cry because I'm so proud of myself. Yeah. I couldn't work for like the year and a half, 2 years. I could barely look at people in the eyes. I couldn't engage with anyone. And now I am a fully working, functioning human being. It's funny, before my breakdown I really took advantage of that and how nice it is just to be fully functioning, but you don't really appreciate that until you haven't been, you know? So the reason I talk about patience so much is because recovering from something as traumatic as what I went through, and maybe what you went through, takes a long time because we were ill for so long, so it's not going to be an overnight thing when we suddenly feel better. And when your brain has got into so many bad habits over the years when you weren't very well, it takes such a long time to retrain it, so your brain actually thinks, oh, you are actually okay, I'll leave you alone now. I definitely still have bad days. I have days where all hope is lost. I have a million thoughts an hour. Everyone is annoying me. I want to cry all the time. I feel like I just can't live like this anymore. The more you go through days like that, the more you realise you just need to let your body go through that process. It's just confused because of what it's been through, and it's trying to find balance again. Those days don't last. The sun does come out in your brain again, and things are easier. There's no denying those days are utter crap, and I hate them. And I often have to remind myself on those days, Emily, things will change. It's not like this forever. And without question, things always change. The problem is, you don't always know when, and that is when the patience comes in. I'll wake up at some point and suddenly I'll just feel lighter in my body, and I'll be like, okay, you've had that release, all right, now let's get on with it. And then you do it all over again and all over again until your body is like a normal functioning, without mental health issues person like that. Also, most of you know I'm hugely into fitness. I started boxing in February and I have never looked back. And I'm often asked if it helps and on what level. I will never be someone that says exercise has cured me, because A, that's not true, and B, that's unrealistic. It has most definitely changed my life though, more in the way that I have a new way of life. I have a whole new group of friends who are equally obsessed with fitness and boxing, and also people that don't go out all the time and get smashed and just want to get pissed, because that's not who I am. So that's really nice to have those people in my life. But also, of course, when I do box or when I do work out, the endorphins I get are so good. And I feel incredible after, like incredible, lighter, I have more clarity. So no, exercise hasn't cured me, and it was never going to. I kind of knew it wasn't ever going to. But it just continually makes me feel good and makes me feel calmer. My life has changed so much this year, I sometimes barely know who I am. In a good way, I mean. I'm so independent. I don't rely on anyone else to make me happy anymore. I'm training to be a personal trainer. I have all these amazing new friends. And I think on those bad days, I need to remind myself of these things more. It's also so important to surround yourself with people who know exactly what you're going through. I am lucky because I do have a lot of people in my life that understand anxiety and mental health. And I feel like that's actually because I am very open about it. And when you're open about it, you'd be surprised how many people are really open about it with you. And then you have just really amazing conversations. You're like, yeah, oh my God, yeah. You just feel this automatic bond with someone despite not even knowing them. Honestly, it's amazing. These people have been a godsend to me. So whenever I'm feeling shit or having a bad day, I'll message one of them and they'll just say something really helpful that, you know, reminds me of something that perhaps I've forgotten to remind myself on that day. They understand if I have days where I want to smack people in the face for no reason, because I really do. They understand if I don't want to talk sometimes, I just want to be quiet. They just understand everything. So I'm getting stronger every day. And every time I go through a bad patch, which I have actually just been through, today's been a bit easier actually, it's been quite bad for a few days. I learn something new every time, which helps me the next time. And I probably will have anxiety to a degree, I think, forever, but that doesn't really scare me because I understand it now. Whereas 2 years ago, if you'd have said, you might have to accept you'll have anxiety forever, oh my God, that would have sent me into a world of panic. The point of removing the stigma of mental health is that we all think of a person with mental health issues, like from the movies, so people are in a psychiatric ward and they're like, you know, rocking on their chair back and forth. And of course, there are people like that. But there are also a lot of us, fully functioning, creative, successful, wonderful, kind, impatient human beings that also suffer. We don't need to hide it because 1 in 4 of us suffer from it. 1 in 4. It's so normal and so important. Just like a physical illness, you just can't see it. So that's it, I think. That's me. That's my update. I will leave links down below to a book and a website that I would probably say saved my life. So yeah, I hope some of you find them helpful. Let me know if you do. Any questions, maybe Instagram me because there's so many comments on YouTube. I just find it impossible to go through them all. So yeah, just message me on Instagram if you have any questions. But I hope you're all well. And yeah, back to comedy next time. Lol. Oh, I just said lol. Bye.